Okay, so this is lesson 2 in the data center concept in course number 1. And so the last lesson number 1 we cover software systems. So this one is hardware system. And so a combination of hardware, software, and then you will see different elements in the next lesson, lesson number 3, a part of what we call a data center infrastructure. So example of specialized hardware are servers. And so these are physical machines that run the software and applications mentioned in the previous slide or in lesson 1, right? And so your typical operating system, your business system, your email system, your SAN systems, monitoring system, you do need high power machines that are called server to actually host these software systems. The second one is storage system. And so again, this is not your USB or your local storage system that's on your laptop or in your desktop. These systems are referred to as what we call storage area network SAN. And so these are high power storage system that goes in the capacity of terabytes and petabytes, right? There's a massive amount of storage are stored in a storage area network. And then you also have the network attached storage, which is abbreviated as NAS, and NAS devices, which are used to store and manage, as I mentioned, a large amount of data in the terabytes and petabytes. And some of these systems are your Dell EMC Isilon, your Pure Storage, HP, Nimble, and such forth. The third piece in the hardware is networking equipment. And so that's your typical, these devices are interconnects your data center resources, the server, your storage, and your software. So think of it as the interconnect between the software and the hardware by different cable mediums. And so you have your Ethernet, your fiber, and such forth. And so they're connected to your, for example, your employee desktops and the internet, right? And so in your home network, you'll have your wireless access point, you'll have your router, and then you have Ethernet cable you can connect through Wi-Fi, right? And so these are all part of, you have the consumer networking equipment, and then you have the enterprise corporate networking equipment. And so this include what we call routers, switches, wireless access point, load balancer to manage traffic between different systems. And so the interconnect manages data flow between your server, your data center, and other network, meaning internal and external. So connectivity to the internet and such forth. Um, the fourth one is security devices. And so typically this is, some people categorize this as part of a network equipment. And so you can categorize this as a network equipment too. And so these devices are your firewall that filter traffic that comes in and out of, in your case, home to the internet, or this is mostly because it's data center. It's um, manage the data flow internal and external to your corporate data center. And so it's intrusion detection, meaning look at ransomware, look at phishing email, look at spam, right? These cyber attacks. And then we call this IDS. And then you have um, intrusion protection system, which is IPS. So you have IDS, IPS. And so also you have what you call SIEM, right? So which collect data from multiple systems and just go through a detection to make sure that your resources are being protected. And so the SIEM monitor and protect data center and its resources from cyber attack, in this case, unauthorized access and attack. And then you have your backup systems. These are systems such as tape libraries and this system, the backup stuff that you store in your software. For example, your email, your backup, your business system, and such forth. And this is to ensure that your data is protected and can be recovered in the event of failure. And so, typically, this is what we call part of a Disaster recovery, DR, or you'll is BCP, business continuity plan, BCP DR. Typically, these are LTO tapes. I'm not going to get into the different LTO tape types. And so typically you back this up and then you store it offsite. And so combination of what you see in the software system, hardware system, are some of these core pieces that are part of your infrastructure part of the data center.